The Nintendo Switch eShop does a fantastic job of promoting the games they want you to see, but a pretty abysmal job of many others. And while some games come out to lots of fanfare, that's certainly not always the case. And finally, on top of that, we've surely all bought one or two games that we may regret having spent money on, so it can be important to actually get hands-on before opening up your wallet. Whether that sells you on a title or has you tucking that item into the back of the cereal section because you don't want to walk all the way back to the electronics, that's why there are demos. But though these may be free, time is money, as they say. So I'm going to tell you about 10 of the several hundred game demos that are worth your time and why, and my brief experiences with them. Let's talk about it. Like I said, here are 10 games that have demos. Some of these I just played the demo for the first time this weekend, some others were a while ago, and one I actually haven't played at all, but I'll get to that. They're basically all from different genres, so there should be something you're interested in. And on that note, I'll have placed timestamps to each game so you can jump around the video if you want to. But the YouTube algorithm does prefer when people watch more of a video, so if you're having fun, feel free to watch the whole thing. That'll help us out a ton. And while you're at it, feel free to subscribe and all that too. AJ and I each make a video a week, so you can check back in for those. All right, demo time. I'm gonna start out with one that might have won me over the most this past weekend. Moving Out is a physics-based puzzle game that excels in 2 to 4 player co-op, although you can also play single player if you want. It definitely continues in the hectic nature of Overcooked, but in my opinion, it nails it a lot better. The demo has a tutorial level and 3 demo levels out of a total of 30 in the full game. The premise is that you're moving someone out of their house and into your truck with your teammates, and you grab items and throw them through windows, downstairs, all while slapping ghosts and trying to not get eaten by haunted pianos. My wife wasn't feeling great, so I had to play this one by myself, but even then, it was constantly hilarious and entertaining, and I thought the demo did a great job of showing the fun and replayability on offer with the full experience. Several months ago, I first played the demo for Ori and the Blind Forest. I'd heard great things about this game and decided to give it a go myself. Like a lot of demos, you play the opening section of the game, but unlike most games, this is one of the best opening sections I've ever played. I'm not really one to tear up in most games, but this one did it. The game itself is a Metroidvania and platformer and is certainly lauded as a best in class. The demo allows you to experience the intro, but also the beginning of the story and understand both what's at stake, and urge you from both a gameplay and narrative sense to dive in deeper. As an aside, as you'll notice as I talk about these demos, I think one of the things it has to nail is to really show in just a sliver of the game what's promised in the game as a whole. Depending on the nature of the title, this may be the significance of the story to come, or just the fun and breadth of experiences that lay ahead. For me, this will be the measuring stick of sorts. And on that topic, I played the demo for Coffee Talk. I'd heard some of my friends over at Loot Pots talk about this game, so it piqued my interest. And I'm glad I played the demo, because it's one that I think may have a more niche fan base of which I may not consider myself. You're a barista at a late night cafe, and while you spend a bit of your time making the drinks that your patrons request and unlocking new recipes, that seems like a side mechanic tangential to the bartender role you play to them, listening to their plight and understanding this neo-fantastical world. In the demo, you meet a character who seems to be a mainstay and 2 of the patrons as you hear some of their story, which is certainly interesting. But largely, it doesn't leave a lot of room for interaction, and the demo finishes by promising more stories along those lines, but I don't know if I felt the stakes. So check out the demo and let me know if you felt the same way. A few months ago, before the world exploded, AJ and I met up with friends of ours at PAX East in Boston, and this next game, Wunderling, has a demo that I actually first played there. This is definitely one where playing the game was what sold me on it. From the looks of it, the art style looks cute, the music is catchy, but the gameplay can look a bit basic. It's an auto-runner where you basically play a Goomba, but even in the demo, which is the first world of the game, you gather some cosmetic collectibles, and most importantly, you see some new mechanics being added, adding promise to the increasing difficulty to follow throughout the title. The demo ends with the first boss fight, which tends to feel pretty climactic and left me wanting more. But when I played Pokemon Mystery Dungeon DX, the demo had a bit of a different conclusion. My wife actually played this one as I watched because she was excited to try out the BuzzFeed-esque quiz that it starts you with. She was deemed to be a Torchic, and she named her partner Cubone Porkchop and herself Gravy Boat. Together, they were the Dinner Boys and went off on their adventure. All told, the demo does a great job of introducing mechanics and allowing you to go on a couple of missions. It even introduces the story, and it's pretty intriguing. I kind of felt like the demo cliffhanger landed at a weird time though. It was right before a big conflict rather than right after one, with the promise for more. I see what they were trying to do here, but I'm not totally sure if it worked. But in any case, since Pokemon Mystery Dungeon is a full-priced game, this is definitely the kind of demo worth playing so you can really be sure if you want to cough up that cash. For me, I'm definitely more sold now on the game than I was before playing it, as is my wife. And while we're on the topic of $60 games, here's the one out of this list I actually haven't played, but with a very specific reason. Dragon Quest XI's Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition on Nintendo Switch. I always like saying it the full title. It's so long and grandiose, and it almost feels like I'm tricking you and that it's not the real name, but it is. But as the name is long, so is the game, and so is the demo. This game comes very highly regarded among the JRPG fandom, and the demo is in line with what Square Enix has been doing over the past few years, and I love it. It's a 100-hour game or so, and the demo's reportedly somewhere in the 10-hour range, and your save data carries over. So basically you just get to play the first 10 hours for free. Square did the same thing with Octopath Traveler, but with a 3-hour time limit, and honestly, that demo is largely what got me so interested in the game in the first place. I'm purposefully waiting to play this demo for when I'm not in the middle of another title so I can go straight into the game. But if we're making demo suggestions and you're like me and enjoy JRPGs, well, Dragon Quest XI's Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition on Nintendo Switch demo version is one to check out. And hey, while we're at it, if this is the kind of video you enjoy, I'd be happy to play more demos to give my mini reviews of. And if you have any specific suggestion of demos for games that you enjoy, new or old, drop them in the comments, and I may be able to use that to make another video down the road. But on to another game. I had heard about Just Shapes and Beats when it first came out and figured that I had a pretty comprehensive understanding of what it was. Kind of a bullet hell mixed with a rhythm game. And while that is the case, and the music, by the way, is very good, I thought this demo did an amazing job of challenging my expectations. I played 4 regular levels, each of which have checkpoints that give you a couple of tries and then a boss fight. And since I was trying to get this all done in time, I ended up turning on the casual mode for the boss fight after like 3 or 4 failed attempts, either meaning I suck or it's very hard or some combination. But after that fight, I don't even want to spoil for just this demo, but the game makes you feel good about yourself, then takes it all away while hinting at the breadth of the story mode. To me, this was a really good feeling demo and feels like a game with a lot of care in it. The newest game of this list is actually one that came out just this month called The Almost Gone. I checked this one out because I'd seen that it was an award-winning puzzle game, but I can't quite tell if this is more of a narrative game with some puzzles or a puzzle game with some story. I don't know, it's quite artsy and ambiguous. I think I played as a teen girl, maybe, who's navigating through diorama-like views of rooms, finding items and using them as the solutions or keys to open other areas of the house, all while offering up an environmentally told backstory of a depressed mother, a workaholic father in an unhappy marriage. From the demo, I can't really tell the scope of the game, whether it's all grounded in realism or if there's some fantasy and where the story is going. The demo ends with unlocking the parents' bedroom door and no hint as to what's behind it. I think it would have been a lot more impactful to see some of what was behind the door in hopes that it pulls you in further into the story. But instead, I was left feeling a bit like I'd heard some sad stories and finally found a key to a sad bedroom. I'm sure the game opens up, but the demo didn't really fulfill that promise. On the other hand, a game that absolutely fulfilled its promise to me was a game that came out in 2019 called The Touryst. Now, you may know its backstory somewhat, but this is a game developed by German indie developer Shinen, who made Fast RMX, among other games, and has always done an amazing job getting everything out of the hardware that they're working on. I was first interested in the Touryst just from its art style, and the game did not disappoint. It's an action-adventure kind of game where you travel between different little islands, solving clues to enter and complete these sorta ancient, sorta futuristic dungeons, as you also do mini side quests, play mini games, and find collectibles. Think of the whole game as an adventure game, scaled down in every way, but fun. The demo, I think, ends after the first dungeon, and then it hints at the rest of the game. I don't know, it's a whole lot of fun. I'd suggest trying it out. The last one I gave a shot for the first time was Blasphemous. And to be honest, if you know that the terms Metroidvania, Hollow Knight, and Dark Souls all strike a chord with you, then there's almost no way this game won't be up your alley. The only sticking points for me is it's pretty gory and heavy in Roman Catholic themes, and it feels at times like it lives up to its name, Blasphemous. But all these things were also pretty easy to ignore and overlook after just playing it a little bit. Alongside Moving Out, this was the demo that most changed my tune before and after playing it. Even within the demo, there's a lot of exploration, leveling up, a boss fight, and a good amount of story. And gory as it may be, the pixel art is pretty gorgeous. So again, Dark Souls, Metroidvania, and Hollow Knight. If that's you, check it out. But hey, thanks for watching. If you've made it this far, but you haven't subscribed and liked the video yet, please feel free to do so. And if you play any of these games because of this video, feel free to tweet me at ParkerDeal, and I'd love to hear about it. Or join our Discord and talk to us there. There's all sorts of ways you can connect with us, but seriously, thank you as always for watching. I hope you're looking forward to the next time, just like me.